to my sewing sanctuary, which is basically just my table and my sewing machine and a chair. But today is the first night or day I am starting to build my dream Brandy Melville wardrobe. Next plan is just to cut out my templates and also cut the fabric pieces out. Before this, I did spend time taping all the pieces and pages together for my pattern. My inspo for this top are these two Brandy shirts. I actually do have the brown one and I love it so much. So once I found this pattern on Etsy, I was like, I need to make this because those shirts on Brandy are kind of expensive. I think that mine was like $24 and this is way cheaper and you get to say you made it yourself. So I don't know what the Brandy shirt name is off the top of my head, but I'll put it in a little title here. For this pattern, I am using the Sophie top on Etsy. I'll link all of the patterns down in the description box below. I'm pretty sure the shop name was called Alosa Sewing Patterns. I'm not sure. I have taped it all. I am going to cut all of this out and then also cut it on my fabrics. I think that's all I'm going to be doing tonight, and then tomorrow hopefully I'll start sewing it and we'll have it done within the next few days so then we can keep working on other exciting things. As you can tell, I love polka dots. I am using this polka dot fabric I got at Joann's before they closed. It's honestly so sad they closed because Joann's is really the only fabric store near me. So I now have to rely on either Hobby Lobby or online, which online fabric shopping, if you sew, you know that's not the best option. So I'm trying to use up all my fabric that I bought before Joann's closed. So I thought this would be a really pretty pattern and fabric for the top I wanted to make. And I do feel like it's very Brandy-esque in a sense just because polka dots are trending and I feel like polka dots are always trending. So this top is very stylish and very chic, very elegant. I also do have this big roll of polka dot fabric. The difference with this is that it's just bigger polka dots and it is a bit thinner material. If I put my hand under, you can see my hand more than if I put my hand under this fabric. You can still see my hand, but I think this, you double layer it. So either of these would be okay, but I do think I like the smaller polka dots for this top, but I'm honestly not sure now that I'm looking at my shirt, seeing how big the polka dots are. So we'll have to decide on that, but currently I'm going to cut out my pattern, cut this out, and then I'll check back in after that. Alright, I have finished cutting out my pattern. This is what it looks like. I'm guessing this is the strap. This is the bust. This is, I guess, like the front piece here. And then we have the back. Then we have the two straps, the two bust pieces that will go around here. This big front piece. And then we have our back piece. Just by cutting out this fabric, I can already tell that this top is going to slay so hard. I am obsessed with the polka dots. I've always been obsessed with polka dots. I feel like if you look in my closet right now, it's mainly polka dots and stripes, which I love it. What can I say? That is all I am doing for tonight. I think tomorrow I will start putting it together and bringing you guys along. So I'll see you then. Hello! It is the next day. I just got back from school and decided to work on my little top. But before we get into this, I did go to Hobby Lobby for some fabric for these projects specifically. So I wanted to show you what I got, a little haul. The first fabric I got was this pink ribbed, really nice, like stretchy, almost like jersey knit fabric for my next little wardrobe piece that you'll find out soon enough in this video. I thought it would be perfect for what I want to do with it. Originally, I did want to find like stripes or something I could use for this fabric so it's not plain, but I only had plain fabric in the store, which I was like, hey, I'll take it. Like, this is pretty cute. I feel like you can't really go wrong with a plain pink color. So I got 2 yards of this fabric, and then I also got more polka dot fabric, shocker, and this is also kind of a jersey knit fabric, maybe a little less stretchy. And for this fabric, I do want to make some of those Brandy lawn pants, so you'll also see that in this video. I thought it'd be really fun. I feel like it definitely is the perfect texture and stretchiness, and you know, I feel like polka dot pants will be really cute to have, just like imagining them on my leg here, like, okay. I got 3 yards of this. I wasn't sure how many yards to get for pants just because I've never made pants before. So I got 3 yards just to be safe, and if I have extra, which I probably will, I will save it and use it for something else because this fabric is perfect. I think together this cost me $25.92. For the 3 yards of the polka dot fabric, it was $14.67, and then for the 2 yards of this fabric, it was $9.78. And there was a little price discount, so we love that as well. But that is the fabric that I got for some later projects that I will be diving into later on in this video. For now, I am working on my top here. I have pulled up the pattern, the sooo top, and looking at it, it honestly seems really easy. I kind of just had to do a basting stitch along the bust, and then put it right sides together, sew it along here, and then like let's say this is sewn, it would come up like this, and then you basically have your front piece here, and then you would just attach your back and do the straps, and that's pretty much it. When I was looking at this pattern, I was scrolling down to see all the instructions, and I was like, wait, that's it? So I feel like it should be pretty easy. I'm super excited, so let's dive in. So the first thing I did was I just double rolled this neckline for both of the bust pieces, and I will just be sewing all of this down. And this is just to give it a clean look because this part would be showing like right here. So obviously we want it to be clean without any fraying happening like over here. So now it is time to sew this piece. Also, let's excuse my sewing posture. I think part of the reason why my back hurts all the time is because when I'm sewing, I'm literally like this, which is horrible. I should be more like this, but like I just need to see. I need like big magnifying glasses to like go like that without having to go like that. But if you see me hunched at all during this whole video, I need to, that's why I'm not like, I have to be like this, which all right, we have the first one done. I put these pins in the wrong way, so now it's like, because I put them in like this and I have to get them out like this, which normally you should put them like this so you can get them out like that. I don't know if that made sense, but done too. I think I'm just gonna iron this over just to make sure it is nice and flat before I move on with the next step. Guys, look how cute these mini baby scissors are. I use these to cut my thread, but I love them so much. So this is fully pressed down, and now I am going to do the basting stitch. I just put the pins where they have to be from where I start and end. Then I will update you guys after that. Guys, the top is coming together. I pinned it along this front piece and now I just have to sew it, but okay, Gorgina. Do we get the vision? We have it sewn. It looks so good. Right now I am just going to be using my scissors. I forgot what these are called, but I'll put them in the title here because I saw a hack where if you cut your raw edges with these, they won't fray rather than just using regular scissors. And I could use my serger as well to finish this edge, but I have not yet used my serger, and I got her back in August because she's jammed and I just haven't looked up a video on how to unjam her. So that's going to be a problem for later because right now I can just use these. But I eventually do need to use my serger because I feel like that would be really helpful and just give it more of a cleaner look. For now, we are just going to use these bad boys. I am just going to clip off these extra threads that I left at the bottom. And then I'm basically going to go in with my scissors, make sure I'm not cutting anything else. And then not go over the stitch I sewed, but just going pretty close to it to then not have it fray. I forgot who I saw this hack on TikTok, but ever since I've done this, it works every time and definitely is an easier way. Or if you don't have a serger, you can do this as well. Just trying to make sure not to cut the fabric underneath here because that's your actual shirt. All right, and then the edge will just look like this, and this is just the inside of the shirt, so it doesn't really matter, but here's what it looks like inside. I think right now I'm just going to iron this seam, so I'm just going to open it and iron it in here like this. I don't know if you can see. And then start on the back and connecting it. Now that we have the front piece done, we are putting her to the side and we are grabbing our back piece. I think the first step to do is just to do the double hem again, like we did with the V-neck bust line, just so it's clean. And then I think it will be time to connect the two. So since we have the back done, I did this so it's all nice and clean. So now it's time to connect the front to the back, or back to the front. So I'm pretty sure I am just gonna take these straps and then put them here and then sew them. I've poked myself so much doing this. I normally use clips, but I thought I would use pins just to make it a little bit more precise. I don't know why, but that's what we're going with today. So if I pin it here and then sew along, let me pin the other side to give you guys the visual. So like if I pin these two here in the back, right sides together, let's say this is sewn together, I flip it over, so then we have this. Voila! I'm just going to sew that really quickly and I'll be back. It should be pretty simple. It's just pretty much going. And my sewing machine keeps getting jammed for some reason. I don't know what's happening with it, but she is not liking my project. Okay, we have sewn the straps, moment of truth, while we flip it inside out. Slay. And I also have to hem these inside. Alrighty, we have made lots of progress so far, so let me show you where we're at with the shirt. This is her, this is the front, this is the back. All I have left to do are the straps and attaching them and then sewing the side shut. But I do have to do the straps first because the straps will go inside and I show the shirt shut. Recently, I have just been working on hemming the outside, so like the armpit area, so it looks all finished with both sides. I ironed it. I love it so far. I've been like trying to put it on to see how it would look, like so. So we have the straps. These are what they look like. As you saw in the video, I just folded them over in the middle and then fold them over again so none of the raw edges are showing. And now the only step is to connect the straps. Now that we have the two sides pinned together, it is finally time to sew it to see how it turns out. Guys, I'm scared. I'm scared to see the results of the top. Well, I still have to hem the bottom, but the majority of it is done. Okay, wait a sec. Okay, let's try it on. I feel like we can't really see how it actually looks without trying it on to get the vibes. It's honestly exceeded my expectations. Every time I make a shirt, specifically like a tank top like this or like tank top, the armpits are always either so saggy or too tight. This pattern, perfection. I'm really actually glad that I chose to do small instead of extra small because I think that's what happened in the past. Like I chose too much of a small pattern or too big of a pattern. But this, she is gorge. She's a little snatched in the back. I'm going to finish hemming this so we have a finished hem here and also just press these seams so they look finished. And then I will give you the final look after that. But I'm so excited. We are back for piece number 2. I will be honest with you guys, it has been a few weeks since I've made that top. I just got so busy with everything in school. It's probably even been a month since I finished that shirt. So we are back at it. I finished my school semester. Yay! Fall semester is done. So now I finally have time to do more hobbies and sewing. So I thought it'd be the perfect time to get started on piece number 2. This piece is kind of connected with the other piece number 3, because it is a set. But I decided to break it up. So piece number 2 will be the top and piece number 3 will be the bottom. And update, I finally learned how to do my serger. This whole night, it took me a long time to learn how to thread it, how to run it, the tips and tricks, but now I have finally gotten it. I'm just like, why did I take so long to learn it? Because honestly, I just had to sit down with the YouTube video, focus, and now we have a serged edge, a finished edge, baby. Now we can start with the shirt. So I did already cut my shirt out just because I realized I was looking back at the clips from piece number 1 and that kind of took a while. So I'm just like, okay, I'll just start when the pieces are all cut out and my pattern pieces are cut out as well. For the top, I am making a cami, like a cami top. At least that's what I call them. It could be like a tank top as well. It's from Brandy Patterns. I'll put her Etsy shop right here. And I'm pretty sure this is called the Elsie tank top or cami tank. This tank top I am using more polka dot fabric. This is a stretchier fabric as well, just because I don't think cotton would work with this. So we have a little stretch to the fabric today, which is very fun because I actually haven't worked with stretchy fabric before, at least nothing like this. My heater just turned on like right where the camera is, so if it's a little quiet or if it's buffered, that's why it's the heater. And it'll probably turn off in 5 minutes, but whatever. We have the fabric, we have the cut out pieces. I also have to cut out the straps for the top. The instructions were a little unclear for that, so right now I'm just going to start on this main tank piece because I have my serger ready to use. Because the first step is just to take the two pieces, put them right sides together, pin them on here, and then just sew or overlock these two side seams. We are putting the sewing machine to the side and bringing out the serger. We have pinned both sides, and now we are just going to be sewing all the way down. Now we have the two sides sewn shut. This is what it looks like so far. If I flip it right side out, I think right now I am going to cut the straps and figure out like the length for those. I know for this shirt you add binding to the front here. I'm also looking at this right now being like, how the F is this gonna fit me? So I might try this on like as a little tube top just to see if I pick the correct size and if it's stretchy enough. So this is how it looks on right now. Ignore the bra straps and whatever, but I think it's gonna fit. It is definitely a tight fit cami, but that's what the pattern said when we bought it. So far, so good. Already, it is the next day and we have the top done. I meant to record tonight when I was finishing the top, but the binding and straps were a little bitch, so I just had to focus. I was like, I cannot record. It's gonna make no sense when I talk to you guys and explain the steps and just do it myself. I was like, what the hell am I doing? Like, I don't even know how to do this. And it doesn't look perfect, but this is what we're rocking with so far. For the first time with a stretchy fabric and material, I would say it looks pretty good. And the steps were honestly pretty simple considering if you know how to do binding. All I have to do right now is just finish this raw hem, and that is basically piece number 2 for the tank top. I know that was a pretty quick segment of piece number 2 just because I didn't record much of me actually sewing it, because like I mentioned, it would not be enjoyable to watch me basically just curse at my sewing machine and myself the whole time. So we have the final result, and tomorrow I will start working on the pants. But I love it so much, and the polka dots, everything, I am so obsessed with it. Piece number 3. These are going to be the bottoms of piece number 2. So they are the same fabric, the polka dot black fabric. Like I mentioned before with piece 2, I just didn't decide to record cutting it out because that was a whole process. But we are using the pattern Make It Yourself, the label. I'll put everything in the description box below, but I'm pretty sure I found this on Etsy and it was only around like $1 when I got it, so super cheap. These are the pants. They're just pretty basic, cozy loungewear pants because I intended to make this set just as a little pajama set with a tank top too. I'm not sure if you guys can see it here, but this is kind of the vibe we are going for with the look of the pants. I've done pants before in the past, but I failed the times that I've done them. But I have high hopes for these just because the instructions do seem very detailed and helpful, and also I'm not doing pockets for these, and every time I tried pants in the past I've done pockets and that did not turn out good. So I was just like, no pockets, just do the pants with the drawstring waistband, and that should be it for the pants. The first step was cutting out the fabric, and then I pinned it along the little inseam, sew along here for both the front and the back. And then since I have my serger, I will be just finishing the raw edge of the seam with that, so it's all finished. Alright, we have the front and back pieces done, the inseam, and now we're just going to serge them. Number 1 done. Number 2 done. Now we have both of the inseams done and serged. We are going to put them right sides together, so the front and the back, and basically just do the same thing that we did with the seams. Sew along this leg, serge it, sew along this leg, and then serge it. And then after that, I will be doing sewing along the inside of this, serging it, and sewing along the inside of this pant leg and serging it as well. And I will be working on the waistband, which is kind of scary because these pants, it's a drawstring, so I have to make a little hole and then enter it in. So that might be a bit complicated, but I'm just going to do that step after I finish kind of the majority of sewing the actual pants together, because we can worry about the hard stuff later on. So we have everything serged, we have everything sewn, and I just tried them on and they look fabulous. This is a super long waist just because I have to still do the waist and the drawstring waistband, but it would look something like this. And all I have to do also is just finish these raw edges on the bottom. Okay, so a little change of plans. Instead of doing the drawstring tie for the waistband, I decided just to use elastic. I kind of just thought to myself that the waistband would be easier if it was elastic rather than drawstring and less time consuming. So I was like, elastic it is. And this was actually the perfect length for the pants anyways. That was in my little supply closet. So as you saw in the previous clip, I just did a little roll over on the pants, and I will be sewing all along but leaving a little gap in between here to then put the elastic in and cinch it all up. And I honestly think I might make this other thing tonight too, just because I got these pants done pretty quickly. So I'll have two things for you guys tonight. So piece number 4 is upcoming. Okay, we have it done. Again, the heater's on in the background, so I'm trying to talk louder, but if you can still hear it or if I'm muffled, my apologies. But the pants are done. I basically finished everything. I hemmed the bottoms so they are all finished. I did the waistband, finished the edges inside, and it looks so good. And I did have to cut off a significant portion of the pants so they would be the right length on my legs, but overall, super easy pattern. And then with this top, it looks adorable. I just realized I never gave you guys my inspo for this set. If you've been to Brandy, you've seen those tank top and pants before, so I think that's what I was kind of going for. Here's some inspo pictures that I wanted this to look like. Tank top, check. And then for the pants, I think Brandy does have a mixture of drawstring pants and elastic pants, so there we go. Alrighty, so for piece number 4, we are making some mini micro shorts. I'm actually super excited about these because I've seen so many people wear them, especially the longer version, like the long pants, and it's like the fully over waist. These definitely probably will be more like PJ or just like hidden around the house, depending on how micro they are. But I'm just excited to see how they turn out. This pattern was actually from Brady Francine Patterns, the same Etsy store I got a tank top from. This was actually a set. But for this piece, I am just doing the shorts. I might make the tank top to go with it if the shorts turn out good and I like the whole overall look. For now, we're just making the shorts. It comes with just this main shorts piece and then the waistband piece. I cut out my main pieces and I am going to get started on sewing. Same with the pants, I just start with the inseam here, and then I'm pretty sure I connect the two and then add the waistband, so it does seem pretty easy. So we have everything pinned, we have the side and this side, and now we are just going to serge both sides. Alright, now that we have these done, I am just going to be cutting off this extra thread. I know I should be probably like doing it the right way with the pin and sticking it under, but we are just doing it the snip and pray method, which is basically where you snip and hope it doesn't rip or break or fray. We have this U part sewn. Now says to flip it right sides out. Honestly, right now, hold on, like low-key, kinda. Let me try them on and let's see how they are. Okay, I tried them on. Don't worry, you'll see how they look when the whole product is done. But they are definitely inside pajama type shorts. And the fabric I chose is definitely a bit see-through, so these are staying inside. And now I think since this fits, I'm going to start to add this little waistband part. So we have the little waistband piece here. Oh wait, they're kind of cute when like I put it here. This is how they look with the waistband on, and now I just have to sew around and hem the bottoms, and this was honestly super quick and easy. So this is what they look like. I was so confused. I'm not sure if I even did this right, but this is what they look like unfolded. And then we fold them, and that's what they look like folded. So I'm pretty sure I did it right. At least I hope I did. I'm going to give this another try on to see if it works. And then we are hemming the bottoms, and we're done. We have everything done, and I thought I would give you guys a little recap of what I made in this video. I was going to make more pieces, but for the sake of how long this turned out, I was like, I'll just make a part 2. The first piece I made was this white and black polka dot top, and it has the little ties here that cinches in the back. I think this is my favorite piece I've made. I definitely want to try to experiment with different types of fabrics for this top, just because I normally make things with cotton, or at least that's how I started out making clothes, and this is cotton. So I was like, how fun would it be to make this top in maybe like this material or something else not cotton. This top was definitely beginner friendly. I just love how it turned out, and it is very similar to the brandy top I have in my closet. So I would say that this is definitely a good sewing brandy lookalike if you want to make yours yourself. For reference, this is the brandy top that I had, and this is the one that I made. Overall, I would say a success with this top, which is piece number 1. Then we have piece number 2, which is this black and white polka dot tank top. Again, more polka dots. This was my first time making something with stretchy fabric, and I really love how this turned out. And this is perfect for the summer or just lounging around in pajamas. This was pretty easy. The only part that I would say was a bit harder, for me at least, was the binding and the straps, just because the fabric that I chose was a little thick when I did the binding. So that was kind of a problem, or not a problem, just like a hassle. And then just connecting the straps was a bit tedious, but overall it was a nice project, and I love how it turned out. Piece number 3 were these pants. That was matching piece number 2, so this was a set. And my vision for this was just to make those brandy pajama sets or make a standalone top and pants. I've seen them all over the place, so I wanted to give it a shot and try to make them. I really love how the pants turned out. They're also great for just lounging around in, and this could be also like, you know, a casual outfit going out. They're very light material, so I think they'll be perfect in the summertime as well when it's really hot. So that was piece number 2 and 3. That was the set, which I love. Piece number 4, the last piece for this video, were these waistband micro shorts. I love the color, the material, really everything, but I am not a big fan of how they turned out, or just in general. Now looking back, I think I've tried these on in the brandy store, and I was like, they're not my favorite, so that's probably why I don't like them as much. But they are cute, they are comfy. I probably will just keep these for lounging around in the house or pajamas, just because they are a bit micro and not really what I would wear outside, but overall very cute. This was actually pretty easy. The only part that stopped me was the waistband, just because I wasn't sure how to put it in, because the instructions were a bit iffy. This is my first time working with like the extra stretchy fabric, because this was sort of stretchy as you see here, but not as stretchy as this. So it was really fun doing this and working with this type of fabric. And I might make a tank top as well to make it a matching set like I did with the other one. Yeah, those are all the pieces I made in this video. 4 pieces. Like I mentioned, I definitely do want to make more, so I'll make a part 2 of this video featuring some more maybe long sleeve tops or more bottoms, because these were 2 tank tops and 2 pants, so we could switch it up. Probably switch up the fabrics more, because as you see, we have mainly just polka dots. But I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I will see you next time. Bye.